Oh wow, man, you'll never guess what happened. Morning, peoples. Well, not good news. I wanted to maybe start doing a few things to the charger, get the bumper bolted on, maybe push it outside, lay the carpet out, let the heat of the day relax the carpet, give it some time to relax. So I went in to test the brakes, you know, make sure that they were still working. And guess what? They were. I was pushing real hard on them, making sure that they were going to work when I pushed this thing out. And so I pushed real hard on them, just, you know, making sure nothing was going to blow. No, there was one main line that I did not replace, the one that goes from the master cylinder under the car to the rear end. Didn't replace that. Everything else has been replaced. So I'm testing it out. I'm pushing real hard on the foot pedal, and bingo, got a leak. Popped a leak. Well, I'm glad it did it in the garage and not out on the road. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Right back here, it blew. Started squirting, dripping everywhere. Yeah, so we gotta remake it, and it comes out here, goes there, goes right along the edge of the car to there, to where the torsion bars mount, and then they go through that little frame connector there and go to there. So I think I have enough new line to take care of that, and some of the spring to go over the line, because this has got the spring on it all the way down for protection. Damn it, man. One more thing to do, but that's why I did it, just to make sure I wasn't gonna have any problems when I was driving it. So it's better that I replace it now in the garage than having to tow it home from an accident. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, we'll see you in a few. Okay, I've made the new line and I fished it through already. So there it is, the one with the blue tape on the end, so we don't get crap in there while we're fishing it around. And of course it's gonna be seriously dark under here, so don't get scared. Anyway, here's the new line hanging. We still gotta just kind of hook it onto the hooks. It's over there, bent around the frame, and she's about to get hooked up right there to the rubber line. Cool. And that's all I got to say about that. Okay, the hot rod life continues. It wasn't the line that runs from front to back that went out. It's this brand new line that's never been used. And so what happened is it blew out and went that way and squirted on the old line and made it look like the old line was the bad line, because it wasn't dripping this bad before. So now I was trying to bleed the brakes, and then it just kept going, and I thought, where the hell is all this fluid going? Well, on my stinking floor and everywhere else is where it was going. So, brand new lines, never used, blew it out. Stinking right there. I can feel the bubble on the plastic. Really? Come on. High quality China stuff. So I'm gonna pull this one too. I'm gonna have to order a couple of brake lines. I gotta get all this brake fluid off my stuff, because I don't like dirty stuff, if you know what I mean. Don't like it. All right, shit, here we go. Here we go again, hot rod life. Okay, so I guess it wasn't necessary to replace that line. I thought maybe it had some rust on the inside and it blew out right here, but the this line blew out instead, and it just was squirting the fluid to that point right there, making it look like that one blew out and was dripping on that one. But since I don't have two pairs of eyes to look at it, I couldn't push on the pedal and lay underneath there and see where it was squirting. So, but once I put the new line in and then tried to bleed the brakes, then I was underneath of there, and then I saw it just dripping away. Worse, 10 times, 100 times worse than it did the first time it blew. Anyway, cheap China. This thing's never even been on the road. Never once. Bye-bye, China. All right, we got the two new braided lines for the back here. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this one on this side, just because I can't trust it now that the other one, before it even got on the road, exploded. Man, that's sexy. Look at that. How don't you get sport suspension? Ooh. Oh yeah, I bolted the bumper on too. Sweet. All right. Well, I got the new brake lines today. They're supposed to be made in the USA. They look a little flimsy compared to that. The hoses look almost identical. So maybe American made, but parts bought in China. That might be it. Well, we'll see. I'll put those on and we'll see if we get another line explosion like that one right there. Better it exploded here in the garage testing it than driving it out on the road and wrecking a car that I've had for, geez, 45 years. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, let me get these put on. All right, got the new ones on. That's the new line right there. So, and then all the way over here, she's plugged in. So let's hope that one don't start leaking again. Got the brakes readjusted, the parking brake, and everything's good. Everything works. About time. Now hopefully these ones don't pop without putting at least a few thousand miles on it. Alrighty, cool. Now, well, we're back to where we were. So maybe next weekend I can push this thing out into the driveway and lay the carpet in there so it can start relaxing. All right, we're gonna get the Charger out into the direct sunlight, which it hasn't seen in a few years. So let's get her done. I got a few things got to pull out from underneath the car, the headers and driveline and stuff that I store under there. So let's make it happen. We still got our little things that I didn't get to or missed. I did the body work. I did it so fast. I actually had to spray it twice. First time I sprayed it, the temperature dropped so much it screwed up the paint, and that combined with the fact that I used the same spray gun to prime it as I did without changing the tip, and it ruined the tip. And yeah, don't do that. Just get the right tip. So what we're gonna do is get in here and get the seats out, get the console out, get everything out of here, and then we're gonna take and get the carpet out and lay it down. But first, there's some damage underneath of right in this area here, I guess. We got to get that welded, cut, welded, get it clamped together. I'll show you what it is once I get all this stuff out of here. back when we got the car, oh, it had to be maybe late 1982, probably. The transmission blew up on my dad. And being young and dumb, we didn't know that when, I mean, it scattered that transmission all over the freeway. There was barely anything left of it besides maybe the front part where the bell housing was, and I think that was it. It blew like a bomb. Anyway, the driveline, we didn't take it off when we towed it. We just kind of held it up and strapped it. Well, as we were towing it, because there was nobody in the car, or no, there had to have been. There was somebody in the car, but anyway, the driveline just beat the crap out of it right here and tore the floorboard open. At least that's what I'm guessing. And I mean, that's a lot of damage. So maybe that happened when the transmission blew up, and maybe just these little dents here, and that tear could have been from it. But it's pretty bad. Anyway, I got to get that fixed, so we're going to work on that. Yeehaw. Of course, it was an automatic car when we got it. I found a 66 Charger back in 1985 that guy was parting out, and I stole that, the pedals, the 4-speed, the clutch assembly. The only thing I didn't buy from him was the driveline, because he didn't have it, but I also got the 8 3/4 Sure Grip 323s gear set out of that same car. So it all is from a 66 Charger B-body. And actually, when I put this thing together, the interior is actually really nice looking. I don't remember why I put the tape on here. But there's a few little things, I guess, that were falling out. I wanted to tape them in so they didn't keep falling out. Anyway, let's get to it. Oh, yeah, see the heater box? I rebuilt the heater box, oh, probably a good 10 years ago now. New heater tubes, new heater core, new screws, new seals, everything. So that's good. That's really good. Yes, sirree, Bob. Anyway, all right. Charger's first wash since right before I painted the car in 2020. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit at a time. Obviously I can't just spray the whole car down. So we'll just do this and just wipe her down in sections. Secciones. Oops. I don't need that hanging on my shoulder. And I don't need dirt and grime on my cloth either. Get that off of there. So I was kind of hoping to get that sun to go back around that house over there. And it's just not doing it fast enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and give her that quick spritz on this side. Well, I'm gonna end up, wet sanding this anyway. Still, it needs to be wet sanded again. Or not again, it never got a wet sand after paint. I don't mind if a little bit of water gets in there, and it will, because it'll dry out. I'm going to leave it out in the driveway. Yeah, I can tell the sun's about ready to go to the other side of that house real quick. my car. Get off my car. One day after me and my best friend Pete, we put a 340 in a 65 Dodge Dart GT that he got from his Uncle Randy. And he bought a swinger from a guy named Riker at a junkyard. It was a 70 swinger, but it had a 72 340 in it, so it didn't have the steel crank. But we still put that 340 in there. It was a low horsepower 340. We did swap out the 8 3/4, but it had 391s in it, and Pete was adamant about keeping the 13-inch, were they 13s? Or I think there were 13s on those cars, those A-bodies back then. He really wanted to keep them factory wheels on that car to be a sleeper, and it worked. But one day we were out one of the back roads in Auburn, and he decides he wants to try and pass me up, and I said, no way, Jose. And we get barreling ass down the road, and we're heading towards the end of the road, and I know my buddy P, he is not gonna stop until I let him by me. And I'm not gonna crash my car, and he didn't give a shit about cars, so whether he wrecked him or not, he'll just go get another one. So anyway, I slow down and I let him go by until the day he died. He thought he had me. He thought he beat the big block with his A-body 340. And I didn't want to argue with him. Yeah, man, you had me. No, you didn't. I slowed down because I'm not going to wreck my car or get it taken away for racing. No way. Not for bragging rights. No way. It's the reason why I still have this car, and that Dart's been long gone. But yeah, it was a pretty nice little, pretty fun little project we did with his Dodge Dart. Getting all that. The only thing that we didn't do, which we wanted to do, was swap it over to the disc brakes that the 70 had on it. It had the, I don't know if they're Kersey Hayes 4-piston calipers, but it had the performance 4-piston calipers on them, on that car, and we were gonna swap it over, but we just never did. Some people just want to drive their stuff, you know, they don't actually want to make it nice. So he was in a hurry to drive it, and then he actually used it as a daily driver. He was driving it from Auburn to Everett when he worked for a roofing company that was building the naval base up there. But with those 391s and those little tires, you know, he had to been turning 3,000 RPM or something. So I gave him an 8 3/4 with what, 291s I think were in it. Yeah, 291s. It's the one that came from this car in the automatic. 290s, 291, something like that. So that he could drive the car as a driver instead of just going and getting a different car. That's how Petey was, kind of hard-headed. Besides, his dad was a hull caller, and he could, back in the 80s, you know, we were running across these cars, 3, 4, 5 of them a week, junking them. Wish I still had a few of those cars that we were playing with. Yes, sirree. And one night, this used to be my parents' house until I bought it, right before they passed away. And so So I was leaving here, it was about 11:30 at night. I'm going from 410 to 167 at night. And I come up on this Chevelle. He had nice shiny mufflers underneath of it. I saw him as I come up behind him. And then right when I had the chance, I came up behind him real close, and he knew what I was after. It was on. He took off. I took off. I went around him, and he shook his head like, no way, that's not gonna happen. Yes, it did. I got up next to him, went around him, pulled ahead, just kept pulling away from him, just kept pulling and pulling. This thing just was long-winded because of the 323s. And so I went ahead of him and I backed off, and I got up next to him again, and he motioned to me. Okay, I was on the left side and he was over there. So I come up on him, he was in the car over there, and he goes like this, he goes, "One more time." And I said, all right. And then we slow down, we get down to maybe about 25 miles an hour on the freeway. Of course, it was kind of late at night, and back then there wasn't anybody on that freeway. So I downshift down to second, we're at 25, and we both gun it and go. We're neck and neck, and we're going. And all of a sudden, you know, I hit fourth and I just start pulling away. He must have had really low gears or something. I just start pulling away. I get about a car's length ahead of him, still pulling, and I back off. Well, I was right in the middle of not in the middle of my story, I was trying to wrap up my story when the battery went out on me. Here's the fender tag I still have. Very valuable. Don't lose these if you got your fender tags on your car or off your car to paint it. Anyway, so I come up on the guy. I came up on him after I pulled away from him for the second time. And then he shook his head, he nodded at me and gave me the thumbs up. And then he took the next exit and went off the freeway. And I went home, proud as can be. He was probably, I thought he was a 396, which is why I came up on him kind of aggressively. But he must have been a 350, something like that. I pulled away from him pretty good. I like stories like that. Ooh, I still got some more of that stuff. Did that get into my paint? It better not have. What is that? No, it doesn't look like it did. Have to get some something, like little spots like this. Just little things are getting on my paint from sitting. Yeah, I got another story about a Mach 1. That guy was silly. He had a 69 Mach 1. And me and my brother Eric, we were out one day in the Charger, just driving around, doing something. I don't know what it was. It's a long time ago. And so I came upon this Mustang, this Mach 1. Actually, he came upon me. He came up onto the freeway the same way I went up onto the other guy. And then he starts revving his motor right up next to me. And his buddy next to him said, "Let's go!" And I said, "Well, all right." And I downshifted it, took off, and didn't look back. I just kept going and going and going, took off. For afternoon, it was pretty clear on the freeway for some reason. Especially that freeway at that time of day. And I left him so far behind that when I looked up and saw that he wasn't there, I slowed down, and I slowed down some more, and I slowed down even more. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's slowing down the same. He's about 200 yards behind me. And I slowed down to about 25 miles an hour on the freeway, just so he could catch up, you know, give me a head nod or, hey, good job or something, And it's with that 383 I had in there, clapped out 383. Nope, he slowed down too. And I almost came to a stop on the freeway just so he could come up next to me. No, he had the same thoughts. He's not gonna let me, you know, say anything to him. Yeah, so man, they're all over these little things like that. I hope they sand out. Even if they don't, no big deal. I'm not gonna paint this car again, I don't think. That was a lot of work. I think if I do paint it again, I'm gonna take all the paint down on it. Oh, anyway, yeah, took that Mustang. He's probably a 351 or something. Schooled him the Mopar style. He just didn't have enough under the hood. Not that I had anything special under the hood. I mean, that's only a, let's see, a 1970, well, it's a 69 casting numbers on it, so it was in a 1970 car. Still only 335 horse, you know, and the thing, I don't even know how many miles on it. It's not original to this car. It was just in it when I bought it.
Record?
Yep. But that was a little fun little run on the freeway. Ain't she a beaut? Yeah, it's a 10-footer. 10-footer, it's not a 20-foot paint job, it's about a 10-footer. And then when I wet sand it, get a little bit of that topical orange peel out of it, it should be better. There's another dent that I missed right there on that fender. And that's one you could really see. I don't know if you can see it, but can you see it? It's right there. Crease. It's not too bad, but I can see it. I know it's there. Yeah, I was not quite 16 when I got this car. I was 15. There's no way I would hand this car over to a 16-year-old today. No way. All right, as you can see, I got the brand new handle on the passenger side on. Works flawlessly. Door closes perfectly. We even have the key. And look at the little lock. Oh yeah. The problem with taking a car apart 10 years earlier is you can only find things by accident. Okay, I found the screws that go to this rubber piece right here, but I can't find the rubber piece, so I gotta continue to look for that. I'll keep you updated. I got brand new clips for the rocker molding, but damned if that rocker molding, I gotta drill out that hole right there. Damned if that rocker molding won't go on. It just will not go on. It's refusing with the new clips. The new clips are almost identical to the rocker molding. They're slightly different right up here on the top. But anyway, the rocker won't slide behind these on here. It will not go down. And so I got to keep working on it. I got frustrated, quit, decided to put the door handle on it, and I might go ahead and put the other stainless trim on down the edge. We'll see how that goes, but first I want to find that piece of rubber that goes there. Oh boy. Another handle. Another beautifully shutting door. Oh yeah. And I got the brand new leather stripping around the door too. So ends up right there. Goes all the way down the bottom and around. Nice. Okay, let's do something else. All right, check it out. I want to put the lock on, but it goes in under here. There really isn't any way, not even through that hole. There's nothing back there. I can't get to anything to get the nut, the washer, the retainer in there. Guess what I gotta do? I gotta pull the taillights out again. I gotta pull those taillights out so I can get the crap. Anyway, that's how hot rodding is. All right, I got it out. Lucky for me, there's only 2,000 bolts to take out. All right, trunk key operational. Cool. Now, before I can put the latch on, can you see what I'm going to be up against? If I bolt that latch on, it's covering my access hole to put the medallion back on, so I need to put that medallion on right now, stat. What is going on here? A bird pooped on my car? No way. And then that tree, it's sapped on the back of it too. I've never found one drop of sap on that thing in the 6 years that I've lived here. I bring the car out for one night and the thing starts dripping sap. So, lights are back on, lock works, medallion on. She's a beauty, eh? Yep. So I've been working on getting the window seals, if you want to call them that. They don't really seal too much, but this side is on. Nice. Now the window doesn't rattle around in there like it used to. The other ones are just gone. And then, upsy daisy, there they are, nice and new. Cool. And this is what they look like out. These, I believe, are going to go to the card that goes here. They stick to that. These are going to go inside here, click like that, and then I have these. Okay. All right, so those other two go to the other window. Okay, got it. Then I was trying to put these on. Well, look at the size of the holes. How did these ever make it into there? These came out. I don't know. That one kind of fits in there, but that just pushes right through. So does that one. Wow. How did that ever work? But those are the screws that came out. Fun. Nice and tight. Great. And that's because of all the nice new seals. It's kind of a little bit tight, but when those seals decide to seat, it probably won't be as tight. Okay. All right. What else? Handles on the other side, locks are all working. So I'm going to try and get the felt into this side and then cuss a little bit, maybe curse, maybe throw some wrenches. I don't know. It's going to be some fun stuff going on. Cool. You guys, y'all come back now here. All right, I found this laying in here. So this is where the other felt, this one here, gets attached to this metal bracket that screws in with the screws that I left inside here. Well, my problem is you see what they did? They stapled them into the metal. How am I going to staple that back on there? So I might have to glue it, weather strip glue it or something. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. Hey, get some mufflers on that thing, buddy. Anyway. I bet that's what they used to say to me. So, we'll figure it out and let you know what happens. Well, all right, guess what? They do give you staples. And 2 extra pieces, which I don't see where these go just yet. Might fit right in here. I bet you that's where they go, right in there. I'll let you know. I'm still trying to fight this one in. I think I have to take out this inner one before I can put this outer one on. Crikey. Damn it, Jim. All right, I got all the weather stripping on except for 3 small pieces, and that would be the gasket for the trunk and the 2 pieces that go on the inside, or I have to staple them to that metal. So I'm gonna have to take that apart gently and see how I can get that stapled back on. Maybe tomorrow I'll start putting on the window chrome. I have all the new clips to screw in here for the window chrome, but I got to get a window in, so I won't worry about those just yet. And this door, it's opening up beautifully and also closing beautifully. It never used to do that. I had to adjust it. I used to have to always pull up on the handle to get it to close right, or when you're on the inside, you had to pull up on the you know, you got to pull up on the handle on the inside, this one right here, to get it to close correctly. Otherwise it wouldn't latch, both latches. But now closes awesome. It's coming together. I like it. I am gonna do some repair to the car cover because it got torn. And what else? Probably do some more work tomorrow. Maybe get that, you know, get the clips and stuff on the fenders and try to get it run all the way down. Find a bunch of other little bits to put together. So we'll see you tomorrow.